What's up, awesome people? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I will pick up from where I left off last, which was in the previous video, I was sharing about what inspired me to create this channel, what got me into my passions like running and enjoying life to the fullest. For those who remember, I was showcasing some of the bucket list books that I've had over the years and crossed things off over those years. And I began talking about some of my achievements, and I wanted to share the stories from those achievements. And in this series that I'd like to call Stories from the Bucket, I will share about those achievements. I hope that you have prepared with snacks because there are some stories to tell. So sit back and enjoy your snacks. I know I will. I will. I wouldn't say I'm trying to promote this book, but this is one of my favorite activity books. So in a way, I am recommending it. If you need some inspiration, go ahead and get one of these books. So, 101 Things to Do Before You Die, 101 Things to Do Before You're Old and Boring. Been there, done that, and ugh, ugh, this is not a pocket book. The bucket list. So. In this episode, I'll share a bit about from this book the things I've done, the things that I've done so far. Whatever I've done is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 101. So imagine, I've had this for 20 years. I've only done 16 of them. So that's why I remember I mentioned some of these things either are you would be lucky, you would have the luck to have accomplished, or also if you have the budget for it. So the things I have done so far is what's it called? Realize your childhood dream. Ooh, my childhood dream was to fly an airplane. And I remember flying 2 airplanes, one a big, people carrier of a Boeing type. I was a kid, and when you back then, when you were a child, they would allow you would be invited to where the pilots are in the cockpit, and just like a little treat for the kids, and you get to see from there, from the cockpit, and see the view, and it's fantastic, it's wonderful. And then you see all the controls, right? And then you would be given the opportunity to fly the plane for a moment. And I remember doing that. It was like I don't remember the airline. I think it was either Lufthansa or a KLM. Describe the day you realize your childhood dream and then attach a photo. I didn't have a photo of it, but I will describe it. My childhood friend and I asked each other what we'd like to do or be when we grew up. I remember this is my childhood friend, my neighbor Anthony. He, you know, being in the province in the Philippines, we would just play around and stuff. And then he asked me he asked me what would you like to be when you grew up? And I I looked up in the sky, and I remember I saw like a big bird. It wasn't flapping its wings, but it was, zooming, but it was super high up. I said, I whatever bird that is, I want to fly that bird. So I didn't know what an airplane was at that young age. I was like maybe five-ish, five-ish or six. And then I asked him in return, yeah, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, yeah, I know what. He was so confident too. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do when I grow up. And he said, I would be, I want to ride the carabao. In the Philippines, it's like a cattle ox, plows rice fields and whatnot. And you know what? We both did it. We both achieved our childhood dreams. He got to ride an ox, a carabao, and became a farmer. And that's all what I remember from him. I don't remember much. I don't have contacts with him, unfortunately. And then I got to fly that bird, which happened to be a plane. Now I got to fly a plane another time, and that was when I this was right after my father passed away, and my school then my school then had this kind of gift for I wouldn't want to say special children, special students, but the smart ones, the top A students in each class, the top A students were invited to this outing to an airfield, and we got you would get to fly a little Cessna, like a propeller plane, and like a four-seater plane. So I was invited to this thing, to this event, this fly a plane day, and it didn't register to me because I didn't understand why I was invited. I thought I had uh, I had hacked the system at that age because I was not a grade A student. I was not, top of the pile. So I thought I really had imposter syndrome during that day, and it I see I'm not that I was not that smart. I was that dumb to not register why I was invited to that day. When it was my group's turn, we didn't like even talk about it until the very when we got on the plane. When I was I would be just so happy to just be in one of those planes and just sitting in being in the air, because it was a fun idea. Now, one of my classmates then, or both, sorry, the two other classmates, they said, "No, Angelo, you fly." I said, "Why? Why no? You guys can fly." So we were just like, arguing back and forth, but they would be so persistent that I would fly, and they were like pretending, "No, no, no, I can't. I will crash the plane and whatnot." And then I thought, okay, if you insist. And then I got to fly the plane. Even we flew quite high, and then we got to see above our school. We flew above our school, not that low, but it was quite high up. And then we were told, okay, that's actually your school right there. So that was a fun experience. And then see, I said, as I mentioned, I was that dumb. I was that smart to realize the reason why I was invited to that event was because the school, uh, you know, gave it as a treat to keep me off my maybe my sad thoughts, having lost a parent. So that was a long story short. So no, I haven't learned that instrument. I can play drums, but if I were to learn an instrument, that would be I want to say piano. I want to say violin as well. I actually have I actually have one of those for dummies books. I actually have a few of them. One is piano for dummies and violin for dummies. And since I am such a dummy, I haven't completely invested so much time to learning the instruments yet. I will. I think for the sake of this challenge, life challenge, I might just do it. But if I were to pick an instrument that I would say it resonates a lot with myself, I would say the saxophone. Yeah. Na, 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 na. Leave your mark in graffiti. See, I haven't done that yet. I'm a good boy. I'm an angel, like my name, but with an O in it. Um, Storm Chase a Tornado. I haven't done that yet. I will have a separate video where I will be writing the things that I'll take the things from here that I haven't done yet, and then I will, because I'm talking for too long. Yeah, that's a long Okay, so I will go through the things right now, from the things I have done. Meet someone with your own name. I'm Angelo. Hi. I have a friend. I have a good friend with his son. His son's name is Angelo. So I see a lot of him from time to time. But this was not the first time I met someone with my name. It's with the same name. Uh, it was in May 2006 at 6 p.m. I even wrote it down here, and I met him in the central of Stockholm city. He was a student from Finland. Um, did you get on well with each other? Yeah, so so. That was your doppelganger like you? Oh no, did my doppelganger like me? I put a 4 out of 5. It was decent. What about? Do you feel that you will become great friends? I was like, so so. Disap Do you feel disappointed? That's even a question. uh, I felt 4 out of 5 disappointed. Um, I don't know how. I don't remember how I think it was just a friend of a friend. I think. I see. I don't remember, but I met him. That's the important part. So I put the sticky star on it. Own a pointless collection. So this was in 2006. So right after my a year after my graduation from high school, gymnasium. And what did I collect? What was my pointless collection? It was Coke, on top of the 1.5 liter or 2 point sorry, the 2 liter bottles, or even like, yeah, the 0.5. So I actually collected these, started collecting them during gymnasium. I think even earlier than that, because I was a I was a Coke addict. Sorry, I was quite addicted to Coca-Cola, and I think, uh, when you're a teenager, you drink a lot of soda, right? And then even like watching TV or playing games, you would have soda or so. I had a habit, don't do this, but I had a habit of drinking at the very minimum one of those big bottles per day. Hence the collection. And then I think I started the collection. I think I did this because of this book. Like, not because of this book, but I remember I started collecting them, for some reason, and then, like, as some trophy, and then, thought, hey, you know what? I'll have the pointless collection. I'll just do it. But no, this is ridiculous. It was about 322, those plastic, bottle heads. This No, I facepalm at the thought, at the remembering of that habit. Okay, so in this book, I just want to say it again. I just want to, uh, inform that the different achievements are labeled in different colors. So we've got like nature, there's like green colored, miscellaneous is like kind of, is it is like jade colored. Blue is for like achievement. You've got recklessness as well. What else are there? Excitement. So there are different types of achievements, but then there's relationships, or things related to relationships. There are things that I will not like share that openly because these are private stuff. Some of them are private stuff. Some I will be more open to share, but I will just block this here. But this is this achievement is study the Kama Sutra and put the theory into practice. I have put the sticky star because I did, not that I studied the Kama Sutra, but there are. This is PG rated video, so I won't tell more. But I did it. Ooh, capture the moment in an award-winning photograph. So this was in 2008. I studied in London in Regent's College, in the middle of Regent's Park, and this was in the photograph was taken just the summer before I started my college, or my brief stint in Regent's College. I actually was just there for 1 year, but I took this photo in June 29th, 2008, and this is called The Boy by the Bay. This is what I called it. The Boy by the Bay. This is by Manila Bay in Manila, and it was The Boy by the Bay. So the photo, whatever you want to compete with, and one of the photos I sent was this, and I was just surprised that people voted, and it was enough votes that I won the contest. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna be a photographer when I grow up. No, what did I win? A printer. It was an Epson Styles SX 105. Ooh, get a free upgrade on a plane. This actually happened a year, no, 2 years ago. Um, it was on a flight with Emirates from Dubai to Stockholm. This was on the return flight, return flights from the Philippines when I was on vacation, and yeah, that was really fun. So yeah, that I was I was I was a bit bummed out because I remember flying with Emirates quite a lot, and and then never got any upgrade. And I thought, you know what? Uh, Try to fly near your birthday, but this was like a long time afterwards. I flew before my birthday because I heard, don't take my word for it, but I heard that you would be more likely to be upgraded on like a special occasion on your birthday, anniversary, uh, whatever. But as long as the airline knows about it, and of course, since you can't fake your birthday, you can just go up to them and say, "Hey, it's my birthday." Eh? Eh? Um, so no, they I got bumped up to business class from economy. That was a blast. I loved it. Now, the depression afterwards of being going back to economy when you have to fly anywhere else was just so yeah, that was Emirates Skywards celebrated 30th anniversary too during that year. Be friends with your ex. I I'm friends with my exes. Um, at least most of them. Yeah, nothing more to say than that. I don't. I try not to be, drama, the type of drama person or whatever. I don't want. I don't try to be having a relationship. I don't try to have a relationship that's just bickering and fights. I try to be always friendly and make sure we all always have fun and the fun memories, and then if it doesn't pan out, at least we can laugh about the fun stuff. Scuba dive is one thing that I also did. I took my PADI. That I did this in 2014. I actually did do a scuba dive then in Boracay, but that was one of those tandem scubas. So I was strapped on an actual scuba instructor, um, and I got to see fish and starfish. But yeah, but I do have a PADI license. The sad part is, where did I take my PADI license? Was that in Boracay? No. No, that was in Coron, and also in the Philippines. Amazing place to do scuba. I'll put some photos from that fun. And yeah, the sad part is I live in Sweden for most parts. I don't get to scuba dive that much. It's easier to do that in a place like the Philippines than in Sweden. cost-wise as well. But so every time I feel like doing a scuba, I have to do a fresher, and it takes like 1 day to do a refresher of you know, your knowledge of scuba and emergency procedures underwater. Learn another language. I also crossed that off. Um, so besides English, I have Swedish, of course, and Tagalog as my the languages I know by fluently. But I can speak German. I've studied German for 5 years. So the story behind that is weird, right? So, but the story behind that is I in seventh grade in Sweden, we, at least in my school, we got to choose our third language, and we only got two choices. That was French and Spanish and German. I chose French first, Spanish second. Never chose German, but I ended up with German because I think first come first served. I think I waited too long, and everybody else had picked French and German. I'm not trying to bash on Germans or German speakers, but German is a cool language. It's a really fun language. But I can't speak it that well. I can understand, but I suck at German, to be honest. Sehr schlecht. Na, nicht gut. Mein Deutsch ist nicht gut. So as I mentioned, there are a lot of things in this book. The achievements, some things take too long, or you have to go through a lot of things to accomplish them, or you need to have luck, or yeah. So one of these things that takes a long time is read the greatest books ever written. There's a lot of books to read if you see here. At least it's a motivation to keep on reading. And these are quality books because they're listed on a lot of greatest books ever lists. But yeah, and also there's another one called another achievement called watch the best movies ever made. Yeah, see all the all-time greatest films. These are more easier to bite into because movies are quicker to go through than books. Leave a job you hate. I'm blocking for obvious reasons, but yeah, no, this was a job that I hated, and this was, it didn't say when, but yeah, this was, I think it was 2007. Or 2006, I think it was one of those years. It was a telemarketing company. How long were you in the company? 1 month. Was the job enjoyable to start? No. Why did you stay? Money. Reasons for leaving, and I enlisted soul soul sucking, demoralizing, and deceiving of customers. See, yeah, I don't like it when it's a job to not fool, but to lure a client or a customer. What have you been doing since you left the job? I worked in logistics and hospitality. I still do to this day work in hospitality. Yeah, I love working in hospitality, mind you. Here's another thing that I got away with. Get away with the perfect practical joke or hoax. I did one perfect joke and one perfect hoax. The perfect joke, this was 2005. I wrote, I was in Paris one day before I was supposed to be there, and I surprised my then ex. I surprised her at La Défense. Yeah, I did have a French girlfriend. Did your victim take it well? Yes, she did. Did your victim utter the words, just you wait, I'll get you back? And yeah, she did. So that was a practical joke back then. The perfect hoax, this was in 2008. I wrote to my contacts on Facebook. I wrote a very convincing personal statement to everyone that I had come out of the closet, and people, it went well, and some people actually got convinced that I came out of the closet. Uh, but no, I had another perfect hoax also on April. It was on April Fools. Yeah, it is. The perfect hoax was on April Fools. And then the other perfect hoax that I did was also on April Fools. Um, but that's maybe a story for another day because, uh, long story short, I have a few friends who took it rather hard. It was so convincing that they cried. So I feel bad, but you know who you are, whoever. If you're watching this, who you are. I'm sorry, but I'm still not sorry because it was so convincing, I guess. Um, so I mentioned some of these things you either have to have a lot of budget or luck to go to accomplish. But and I okay, so it says visit the 12 most famous world sites. And I think I would say that I am a very, well-traveled person, but I haven't seen all of the, famous world sites. I've only in this list I've seen the Colosseum many times. I haven't seen the Uluru Mountain in Australia, the Machu Picchu, Peru, Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, the Christ the Redeemer in Rio, Brazil, the Sydney Harbour in Australia, the Taj Mahal in Delhi, Great Barrier Reef in Australia, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, the Grand Canyon in the US, Angkor Wat in Cambodia, and the Great Wall of China. So I I think I will cross these things in tandem with my running travels. Like one of my goals is to travel around the world, um, or do marathon travels, and then also cross off these things along the way. So that's gonna take a while. So I hope that you viewers have that patience. Here's another easy thing to do. In various languages, learn to say things like hello, goodbye, please, and thank you. Order beer, swear, or have other insults in different languages. I took Tagalog, German, and French as languages for this exercise. So, how do you order beer in Tagalog, German, and French? In Tagalog is isang beer po. Wait, did I have an accent? Sorry. Isang beer po. There we go. That's how it's pronounced. In German is ein Bier bitte. And in French, un bière s'il vous plaît. Let's have some insults. Tagalog, ang pangit mo. Insult in German, du bist ein Schweinehund. In French, I have an insult, tu es stupide. Tu es trop stupide on certain days. Get barred from a pub or a bar. So it says this was in 2005. Yes, because I was sorry, I completely lost it. It was my birthday weekend, my celebration of my 18th birthday in 2005. It was one of those places where students would go, or what's it called? Yeah, people who turn 18, young ones, young guns, if you want to call them. They would the bar had a special package deal where you would buy a bottle of beer and then you would get an accompanying shot. Like it can be like licorice or lime or menthol or whatever. Special flavored shots. Like it can be fruity, licorice, yeah. And it was a good bargain price, and so that was like the hooker for the hooker the hook for to grab a lot of visitors and bar goers. And it was my birthday weekend, and the friends that I had with me that night, they ordered one of those things for me per person. So I think we were like eight. So I already had instantly eight bottles of beer and eight shots on the table. And I was trying to be, I was trying not to be ungrateful was the word. So I would try my best to down the beers as quickly as possible, and then get it over with, because I don't want to have beers go to waste. And then another group of friends came in, and they heard it was my birthday, so they also ordered for me, each for each person's. So I already had a full table. So can you imagine a full round table, this size? No, sorry, this size, with just beers and shots just for me. And this was right in front of like this was right before the dance floor. And so the party was already going, or like the disco was on. People were on the dance floor having fun, and I was just like struggling, right? And yeah, I was not mentally connecting my body to do anything other than just enjoy the time, enjoy the drinks. I didn't feel like, you know, so but until my dear friend, I will not name her, but you know who you are if you're ever watching this. The name starts with an N, and ends with Ochel. Sorry. Ochel. Sorry. Sorry. She's a sweet one. She's a sweet soul. But um, she was right next to me, and I remember her just, I was like right by I was not feeling well, but I was not thinking about puking. I was trying not to think about it. But then she said, "Hey, Angelo, whatever you do, don't puke because the guard is in front of you." And the moment I heard puke, that's when everything was just like firing all on all cylinders. And I relieved my vomit under the table. And I thought, okay, this is over. I'm going to be instantly thrown out. And then I thought, oh, the guard was not there. The guard left at least. And then my friend said that no, he didn't see you. I think like less than 5 minutes later, the same guard came up to us and said, "Hey, buddy, how are you feeling? Um, let's have some fresh air, right? And then let's go for some fresh air." So he brought me to just before the exit. I didn't get my coat yet then, but he told me to here's the thing. Uh, what you did was not good, so you're gonna have to pay up because it's a carpeted floor, right? And I thought, oh no, oh my god! So for the maintenance thing damage, they have to charge me, and it was quite a hefty amount for an 18-year-old just turned 18. So that was on my record. And then after I paid up, they said, "Oh, thanks and happy birthday, and also you're not allowed to come back here anymore." So like so sad, but uh, I got back. I went back to the bar anyways, like around not the same night, but I think about a few months later. I went back to the bar, and they didn't recognize me. So yeah, so I thought that was bad for life. But no, hey, I even drew a sketch of that night. Yeah, so my friend, Angelo, don't puke. What is that? No, Angelo, no. That's my friend. And Ochel. Sorry. Yeah, Vasa's was the name of the bar, and that place does not exist anymore. It's by Udenplan. Fun times. Oh, get a tattoo and a piercing. That should be fun. Okay, so I had one more here. There we go. So, going back to the point of why, what got me to start this channel, one of them was, to show you guys some fun stuff, and what got me to running, uh, and it was this: run a marathon. It was in this book that inspired me to run a marathon. Uh, this was in 2015, so this will be the 10th year anniversary since I ran my first marathon. The year before that, I had no concept of what a marathon was. I knew it was like a running thing, but a long running uh, thingamajig. And I was only used to running 5 kilometers, I think, at the very top 10 kilometers, but then that's like a big undertaking. Even though I was like an athletic child, or I was sporty. I was mainly playing football, maybe basketball, and other athletics, but not running longer than, let's say, 10 kilometers. And the 2014, I was working at a place where had the company would offer spots for a 10K run, which was an annual run in Stockholm called the Midnight Run, or Midnattsloppet. Midnattsloppet. So, yeah, and then I ran it. I thought, yeah, this was fun. This was really great fun, even though I struggled on the 10 kilometer fun run. It was a fun run. And then I went through this book. I remember saying that, oh, I remember there was something running thingy majig on this book. So I went back to it, and then I thought, oh, run a marathon. I was like, what the hell's a marathon again? How long is it? It's practically a 10K times 2, right? No, a marathon is 42 kilometers, um, 26.275 miles. It was just not just that I wasn't completely trained for it. It was also a horrible day weather-wise. It was pouring rain, windy. It was so cold, even though it was like just by when summer would begin. So that this happened on the last weekend of May. It's either last weekend of May or first weekend of June. Horrible experience, but I did remember it was a fun. It had its fun moments. I think in some of my videos, or some of my talking about marathon running, especially the one in the New York City Marathon, it's fun up to some point, and then you suffer at some other points. I thought after having run the marathon, I would never ever do a marathon ever again. But I think for those who have run marathons, or at least some long distance events, you would get this runner's high, and you would think, yeah, I can do this one more time or more. So I had the runner's high, and I rode that high for a while, and still to this day I run marathons. But as I mentioned, I'm not a professional. I just train as much as I can when I can, and I try to beat my own personal best. But I also just want to run in different parts of the world, and also, if possible, beat my personal best, but not be more than that. I just want to, do it for the fun's sake, and if I get to inspire others, even better, right? I have much to thank for this book, actually. So thank you, Richard Horn, if you get to get across this video at some point. Thank you for making this fun book, and also for inspiring others to do something outside their comfort zone, and have stories to tell like I have. Look, I have been talking for almost an hour, I think. Oh, here's some fun thing. Here's one of my favorite things. I haven't done yet, but I'm working on it. Write a bestseller. So I have an interest for writing, and this is my it's fun that it was on here too, on the first one too. But I've had an interest in writing, and I'm working on a story right now that I've been working on for almost 14 years, but I will get to that at some point. I hope to be done before this summer. I think I'm about 75 to 80% done with it, so I just have to I just have to be disciplined with the writing. So thank you so much for watching, for listening to my short stories about past experience. I said, as I mentioned, I will make another video where I will make my bucket list, take some inspiration from these books. Thanks for sticking it out through this video, and I hope you look forward to my next videos. So, until next time, guys, stay awesome.